Oh, there's bees cold. Okay, that can't. Sorry, let me get into talking. Okay. Oh, there, bees cold. That's still weird sounding. A flake in white as a sailor begs their pledge. Okay, we're just diving right in here. Right. That's quite loud, isn't it? That boom. Let me turn it down a scooch. Just a scooch. A bit less in your ear. Is that better? Wee bit. Maybe. Okay. Will the air be cold of flake and white as a sailor begs their pledge? To the ice they'll pray that we'd reveal. Out in the ice they'll stake a claim. That in the dark they'll brace themselves. Wait, I'm meant to. I don't even understand what it's what I'm reading. Never mind adding. So am I the sailor? I'm the sailor, right? I'm begging my pledge to the ice. I'll pray that we'd reveal. I don't pray. Out in the ice they'll stake a claim. Let's do this. Out in the ice they'll stake a claim and carve a course ahead. Oh my god, you already own it. Perfect. Of homes they'll dream to souls around. Of glory found. We want glory. Of glory found and forged in frost. To that their tale be spread. A hunger draws the desperate here. Its calling sows the spread. I mean, I don't understand what that means, so let's pick that. It's one that can't be fed, such lonely souls need lead. No, do this. Its calling sows this spread. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I'll learn to live a life out here, out in the pale beyond. We just did poetry, look at us. This already seems too intelligent for me. I'm gonna lie. Begin. My brain, don't be braining. No problem, worker. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. Glory to be had in the event of success. Oh, I hate those things. You're alone in the office. I'd rather have coffee. Every time. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship and a bottle. A metronome ticks away severely. It's insufferable. I fucking hate metronomes. They make me very on edge. The constant chime begins to wear at your patience. Stop its infernal ticking. You attempt to stop it. It breaks off. Pocket it. Give me the needle. You quickly shove the needle into your pocket. That's so much better. How much nicer is this? How much nicer? You hear footsteps climbing the stairs that brought you here. Take a seat. We might be relaxed. The chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels warm. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Oh, I'm not the captain? Oh well, that's sad. Do you have all of your teeth? Enough to get by. You can never be too careful. They sit down. It's the little things you can lose people to. You're late. You best get used to waiting in this line of work. How many people have died under your supervision? I don't appreciate this line of questioning. I'm reading out my own thing. You will when you're on the ice. I'm Captain Hunt. I'm sure. He nods. What ship is that? Ah, this detailed, isn't she? It's a bit pessimistic. Nah, it's incredibly detailed. An old sailor superstition. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I'm told it's worth the wait. Good. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad. Interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. Keep listening. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? It's to be expected, surely. I thought it blunt, but it's proven remarkable at weeding out the weak and the pretend. I've got a few questions first. Looks down at his list. Were you born a landlubber or sea dog? Yeah, we're from the sea. The ocean, same as yourself. I'm saltborn apparently. Military experience. Criminal, only invading them. Evading them, invading. Ha! Honesty is good. So you've skirted the law before then? Is that a problem? If everyone I hired had a clean record, I wouldn't have a crew. Have you ever fired a weapon? Mm-hmm. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? Yes. I see. You're not married, are you? No. You better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving in the first place. Any less and you're doing yourself a disservice. Let me continue. We're here to find the ship in that bottle. Oh. The plot thickens. The Viscount. Heard of it? No, tell me about it. Where's his throat? 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find a study the absolute magnetic south. Did they? Did they what? Find it? I've no idea. She never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead. Alive or not, their research ship is supposedly of extreme importance. Okay, you have my attention. Captain smiles. Here's what we know now. Here's what we know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. Okay. Until now. Until now. Someone who was found who claims to have been on the ship. Where are they now? Dead, but their testimony seems to have outlived them. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character's got me this far. What of our own ship? We'll be travelling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood, generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance, they're sister ships, built together, sent out into this world to die alone. Superstition gets people killed. So does cynicism. Captain looks at the bald ship. What do you think? Sounds like you'll need all the help you can get. We will. Checks his watch. Anyway, I think I've heard enough. Stands up. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, Shaw. Proverbially speaking. I have the job. What do you think? I'll see you on the Temperance. Oh, I broke your metronome earlier. Oh. Don't worry. This isn't my office. Oh, cool. Okay, so we just broke someone else's. That's fine. You arrive in the docks a month to the day. Before you lies a ship. The letters on its side read Temperance. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression. You can feel his eyes assessing you. He's quick to inspect you for ink. Another sailor for the fold, mid-deck with the others. I'm Robin Shaw. Oh, of course. That would make you the captain's choice for first mate, correct? I'm Mr. Templeton. I shall be operating as the Chief Science Officer on this expedition. I'm also the incumbent representative of the benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team At you and the captain's disposal. This guy seems interesting. What did you specialise in? Applied botany. That's reassuring. He nods. No doubt I needn't inform you of your duties. You're second only to Captain Hunt himself, though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, a strict adherence is what we need in this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be organised. To be the organised sort. You would not have been assigned to the role otherwise. I doubt there'll be much issue. We can only hope. But your role is more strenuous than it would first seem. Let me know when you're ready to depart. I'm certain you're eager to look back on the ocean. The less valuable time we waste here, the better. Nice. Okay. So, the city, young man, the temperance. Now we've got stuff up here. It's minus 10C. It's pretty cold. What's this? A young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. You'll be gone for quite a while. It'll be some time before you see the city again. Okay, yeah. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. A nice ship. I don't know anything about ships, but it looks nice. Let's go. Week 1. It's loud. Hold on. I need to turn the music down a bit. Hey, Fused. Hold on. Okay, that's better. That music was super loud. Fused, welcome in. We're just getting, well, we've just set sail. So we're the first mate of this ship. Right. So we're a month into the thing. Oh, the years be cold. Oh, right, okay. We're out on the ice, he'll stake a claim and carve a course ahead. Of glory found and forged in frost, so that their tale be spread. A hunger draws the desperate here. It's calling, so is the spread, right, yeah. I'll learn to live a life out here, out in the pale beyond. So we did that to start with. This was the first thing we did. First mate Shaw personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on and 1 week since we've set sail aboard Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. Captain Hunt is loosely kept to his quarters so far. I'm not sure what to make of our leader. He's not telling the whole truth. I can't shake the feeling that he's not telling the whole truth. Despite that, I find myself warming to the man. I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain. The crew, however, are a different story. There are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next port will be our last before we enter the ice to pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew. The scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal on a pack of sledding dogs. The crew are a strange lot, eclectic as the ship itself. I've never been on a ship like this before. It's an abomination. I mean, it looks like a nice ship to me. A technical marvel, elegant machinery expertly weaved through one of the fastest hardwood ships of its day. Reborn for this mission, breathing again with life. She's simply magnificent. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Captain wants you at the helm. I'll head there now. He leaves. Right, let's go to the helm. Welcome back. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin, lovely day for it, isn't it? It is indeed. Indeed. It's days like these I make sure to do my share of the sailing. He winks. I'll continue. He thinks for a moment before stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Here, why don't you have a try? You should take advantage of the calm waters for once. I imagine you didn't see many of them in your past line of work. Sure. You grip the wheel of the ship and feel the weight of the waves in your arms. The memory in your muscles rear themselves as you begin to move in time with the ship and the wind. Easy. There you have it. The captain pats you on the back. Fantastic. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Okay, we literally can't see nothing. Panning and zooming speeds can be adjusted in the settings manual. He takes the wheel back from you. I think I'll drink this morning and a little longer. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do. Sure. A pristine furnished tub secured to the floor, a luxury to be had on the ice. A classical painting depicting sailors doing a battle with the Kraken. Ooh. An ode to an old folk story of the great Captain Seamus dance with the Salt Kings. On the desk you make out a variety of papers, notes and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognise. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. Oh, that's quite a cool idea. You take a seat at the end of the room. Yeah, the art style on this is good. I like it. The captain joins you. Now let's run through our provisions before taking requests. To start, there's 23 souls signed on to the expedition, ourselves included. There's 16 free to be assigned to tasks. If they aren't already busy, the rest are deployed to their permanent stations. You are only able to deploy crew who have discovered they must be in good health and not otherwise deployed to another post. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next port. A lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. The expedition will end tearing itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. We have enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of emergency. If you cannot afford the minimum food rations at the end of a week, crew will become malnourished. Unless cured, malnourished status will develop into scurvy, a severe status effect that prevents the crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again. Colder temperatures will increase the minimum fuel required at the end of the week. If you cannot afford the minimum fuel, crew will become freezing. Unless cured, the freezing will develop into frostbite, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. The sledding dogs, well, they're still a matter of negotiation. Dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources. Sending hunts out further requires a greater amount of dogs. They will rest and become available between the weeks. Now go on to work. Okay. A sailor enters. We found a stowaway on the lower hold. Bring them in. Another sailor enters, leaving a young lady by their side. You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had. Captain studies them. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. The ice. Did you know that before you climbed inside the crate? I did, sir. Ah, how old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true. I can pull my weight, sir. Do you know your jib boom from your bowsprit? Bowsprit? I don't know. I do. I learned it from my da. Your da? He's Ward's son. Followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain? Well, sure. Hunt eyes you up. Your first mate, what should we do with them? Do we kick them off? We are heading to a port. We could just bump them. Could just kick them off at the next port, you know. It's another mouth to feed. Kill them and use them for food. He's not staying. Aye. Ditch him when we next make port. Drop them off, leave them with enough money to catch a boat back. We could throw him overboard. Boy's face goes pale at the thought. Heh, that would be faster, but no. That would just lose me another sailor. If that's your plan, we might as well cut them both loose at port. The boy can stay, but only if it works. Captain addresses the kid again. You hear that? Shaw thinks you can stay if you work. I can work, I can work. With fear of going overboard, then yes. Consider yourself part of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders. I will, thank you, sir. Nothing like putting the shit up them first. The stowaway joins the two sailors below deck, now a member of the crew. It seems the litter has a new runt. I hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations.
I am Usador, wizard of the 12th realm of Athesius, master of light and shadow.
Hey, Fevers. Afternoon. What of the father? Should be punished for letting this happen? Another mouth to feed on the ice can be the difference between life and death. Split their pay and their rations. Any rations the boy takes should come from his. I think that's fair. I think if the dad's on the ship, the dad should be the one sharing with the kid. Yes, that works. Maybe we'll make a sailor of him by the end of this. That matter's sorted. Have you agreed upon my conditions? To the point, eh? Shaw, this is Lady Cordell. Cordell here is to provide us with a kennel of hounds for the sleds. Oh, look at the dog. And our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island, but you neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Pale Passage. Oh, hey Alpha Star, how you doing? I had no intention of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. One thing to ask for my whole kennel is another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest. And never before has a seller made such strong demands. What are the demands? She demands we allow her to come along as a member of the crew. None on this ship have the experience and familiarity with these dogs that I possess. If you are taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them if they have any chance of survival. The humans on board too, of course. You can see my dilemma. We've just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member is a risk. But our hands may be... Oh, I should have kicked the boy off. I don't give a shit about him. I want the dogs to survive. Ah. I feel like if we take her, we're fucked. Like, that's a second mouth to feed that we weren't planning on, and I let that stupid wee boy join. Oh my god, I should have tossed him overboard when I had the chance. Can I go back and just grab him and go, actually, you're leaving at next port? Let's try it.
Disgusting!
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't see the harm in having an expert. A good point, Shaw. This deal is already to your benefit. Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently enough to haul them, and I would like to ensure my dogs are treated possibly. I hope you're as experienced as you claim. Trust me, I am. I'll have a room prepared for you below deck. Oh no, we're so fucked. You'll find me in the forecastle with the dogs. She leaves. I hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw. Okay, we needed the dogs though. Like, there was no way we could do it without the dogs, so... I feel like I'm making the worst decisions already. Now that's all settled, I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair, you couldn't mistake them for another. Do you require me for this? No, this isn't a matter the first officer needs to concern himself with. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Okay. Who's this? Well, we were going to have the dogs anyway. The dogs were planned. It was the extra person that we weren't planning on. So the dogs, like, were fine. We were expecting the dogs. How's the view up there? You startle the woman, causing her to fall and nearly drop her camera. Help her? You help her retrieve her dice and untangle herself from the rigging. Okay, so in future we wait for the person to be finished. Don't jump up on them. I don't know boat etiquette. That was a close shave, officer. It's about time I met the first officer of this ship. Kasha Belford. Nice to meet you. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just can't pass. An accomplished photographer, Kasha Belford, won the Fentler Prize, the highest honour in journalism, for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. You expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. I'm not going to say she's not prepared. I mean, she's probably not, but she clearly doesn't seem prepared considering she nearly fell off to her death. Her proof is all we have. Unless we devise a way to bring the Viscount back with us, her proof is all we have. The cold game, picture that as a header. Later, continue. For the piece on this voyage, I'm going to try and come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it if the title sounds like the work of an amateur. Yeah, I'm not the creative type. I'm sure you would know better. She tilts her head and grits her teeth, holding an inner debate with herself. Maybe not. How about Hunt's Incredible Voyage? Too fantastical? I suppose I'll find the right name when the time comes. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Apologise. I'm just a little excited. I've never been on a voyage like this. Well, I suppose you've had your fill of thrills up until now. At least this thrill is within the law. I'm not adverse to thrills. Well, I hope we have some coming this way. I'm hoping to capture something right out of Kirk Darling's old escapades. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at next port. I should get his picture at some point. Kasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. I got thrills. They're multiplying. Captain sent me to grab a copy of the manifest. Oh, yes, I'm putting together a manifest of the crew for you. And you an annotated document. Here it is, the crew manifest. Oh, okay. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at next port, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out.
Spectre status recognised.
Hi, Chemo. Hello. I'll see what I can do. I'll not disturb you or your work any further, officer. I have a few more shots I want to get before the sun lowers anyhow. Safe shots, don't worry. Okay, we should go get the redheads, I guess, for the captain. You find yourself almost knocking over a man carrying a heavy pot. Careful, careful. You almost got drenched in broth. You're the ship's cook. Indeed I am, and I've got a full plate on my hands, pardon the pun. You hear a roar from the other side of the door. Oi, what's holding you up? Cook shakes his head with a smile and chuckles to himself. He grabs the large pot and prepares to make his way to the hungry crew before turning his head to you. If you don't mind, could you carry that tray of biscuits behind me? You grab the plate and follow the cook out the door and to the table where the crew are waiting with bated breath. Upon the cook's arrival, the sailors let out a rowdy cheer, the ship's cook placing the broth upon the table. Trust me, fellas, this one's worth the wait. The cook spreads with a ton of pride as he ladles the broth into the bowls of the crew. Oh, one at a time, you animals. Ward, you're awfully handsy for only one arm. Ah, piss off, Junior. Got some beard here too. Grab it fast before... Beard? Bread? Got some bread here too. Grab it fast before Tucker beats you to it. The crew laugh and are merry as Junior guides you back through the kitchen. We weren't properly introduced. Robin Shaw, right? I've been keeping track of all the new crew. Jorn Stokes, but nobody calls me that. You'll hear them all call me Junior. You should do the same. No idea why Hunt picked someone he's never worked with as first mate, but you seem the helpful sort. Glad to have you aboard. Hunt wishes to see you. As soon as possible. Ah yes, good old Hunt. Never a rest on this ship, let me tell you. Especially when Hunt takes a liking to you. Some tasty beard you got there, I know. Fucking idiot. It's apparently like the bleakness of this game has been likened to Frostpunk. But it's like a... It's just like a... like a visual novel style. But you have to do some resource management and stuff. The crew eat their meal, it passes in relative silence. They return to their posts, the hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening, twilight falls. Over dinner you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with the one-armed man. But Da, your lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on Da, I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Timmy. Doug Ward added to the manifest. Okay. As you look over the railing out to the ocean, a wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth and a sheet of paper in his hand overlooking the stirring waters. Looking at something. Any spare tobacco? I don't share. Tashi. You're Robin Shaw, aren't you? I've heard of you. Don't worry. Won't tell anyone. They fall silent and begin to read the letter. Trying to draw conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. That's fine. Timmy, I know what a name to pick. Timmy! Right. You spot Templeton looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Ah, Officer Shaw. It'll be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite the change. I noticed you weren't at dinner with the others. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin and I make use of it. Keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean. There is great expectations upon us, officer. Do you think Captain Hunt is up to the task? I admit, I do not know. The man is a mystery to me. You, however, you seem likely to steer him right. That I can trust. He looks down, catching his reflection on the ocean surface. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important the first officer be well rested. The food rations per crew member this week, normal, and fuel is normal. Okay, yeah, so you need to manage the rations and then it like manages their like happiness and their starvation and stuff. I'll just leave it as normal just now, I guess, until we need to. Orca Island? Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The Scout and Coo and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as you move further south. Two weeks on the Temperance. There's a rap on the cabin door. The door creeps open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning from ear to ear. There you are. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, this seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of the exploration and the merchandising that followed. Orca Island sounds dangerous. Sure. It's an honour, really. A wealth of invaluable experience in such hostile environments. I wonder he's not been swept up to some other post. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? No, just busy. Of course. The role of first mate must surely take up a great deal of your time. Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. I've been busy myself. It took a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew were quite eager to meet me. That's right. You're something of a celebrity, aren't you? I take that to mean you haven't heard of me before. Well, that's a pleasant surprise. There aren't many who haven't seen my films, particularly in this line of work. More than one fellow in this crew said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honour, is it not? I'm certain you receive the praise often. I think I misread that, but it's fine. Not as often as you would think. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you'd join me up deck. Sure. Why? We've finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself. Okay. Turns to walk away before turning back. Enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. The ship makes its last port. Blah, blah, blah. I've got nothing to put on it just now, I guess. Doctor's office. Seems the good doctor isn't in. Perhaps enjoying his sleep. You have yet to come across the doctor even after all this time. That's a bit weird. You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the Temperance break the floes before you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impending ice floe. There's a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales. See? Nothing else like it. It's just ice, don't get too excited. You weren't wrong, it's something alright. Look at the ice, no two cracks are the same. Did you just want to show me the ice, or is there something you wanted to discuss? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for so long once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course it's going to get thicker. He looks out across the white. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course. Avoid the pack. We have enough supplies if it comes to that. It's not the supplies I'd be worried about in that situation. People will turn on each other before they let themselves starve. Have you ever experienced the long night winter? It's not pleasant to say the least. I can't say I have. We're only as good as the unhappiest man, Robin. That's first mate, Shaw. Humours you a salute. Yes, officer. I'll do what I can. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. He looks back across the ice. Ah, Shaw. Ready for another day of work? Did you hear Kurt's advice? He wants us to change course. Aye, we had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you'd help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed the line pulling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please. Okay. Reminds me a bit of Sunless Seas. I don't think I've not played that. I don't even think I've seen that. A short, sour-faced man in engineer clothing approaches. Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprised you didn't notice. Sure, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond, and an opinionated one. What is it, Hammond? We've hit the ice and you haven't assigned any extra men down on the boiler. You have your engineering team, and we've only got 6 arms between us. I need more manpower maintaining this, sailors. Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know I've already assigned Smurf on the matter. Captain turns to you. How many do you think is fair? 1, 3, more? Open the crew manifest to choose how many sailors you wish to assign. Let's assign 2. Timmy and their dad. You can take Runt and Runt's da. You're giving me Ward with 1 bloody arm. Young Runt could use someone to teach him on the job. Who better than his father? Don't get me started on handing over the bloody stowaway. Would you rather none? He holds his tongue. Fine. But you can tell me how right when I was... but you can tell me how right when I... Right I was... Oh, fuck, man. But you can tell me how right I was when we're buried under the ice. A good spirit, that one beneath the oil and the temper. You won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room. Captain Shaw, a thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the manifest, and it might be too late for this now that we've already entered the ice. Out with it. I thought it'd be good to have individual photos of the full crew for your report. Not only my report, it would be good reference for the manifest, put faces to the names. Much of this crew have served for me for years, some decades. I have little problem putting faces to names. Your thoughts, Shaw? I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing because I don't know the crew. Top down on a boat. Absolutely brutal. Oh. I've heard of it, I just didn't know anything about it. Interesting. I think we'll do it. It's a bit late, but it's now or never. Get it over with. Good point, but maybe you could sound a little more enthused. I see no problem here. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner. Thank you. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Shaw. Corvid enters. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing. I wanted to see if the young boy has been settling in well. He has indeed. Means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask for much. He has his dad to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy. Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to keep the boy aboard. Oh, so maybe it wasn't the worst idea in the world, even though I doubted myself. Good to have all settled then. Perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Meet with him when you have time. Changing course or not, we'll want one of his scouts set up on the crow's nest. Take care of that, then you'll be done for the day. Send me up there, I'll get you a reading. The scientist eyes the man's cane and turns to you. I believe the navigator means you to send one of his scouts. The navigator clears his throat and taps his cane. Of course. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading slight... yeah. One of those games that needs a good amount of time, tells amazing stories, deeply hidden all over. Oh, that sounds like hard work. While examining the rigging of the ship, your eyes notice a figure darting by, climbing up the ropes with ease. The figure lands on their feet before dusting themselves off. Their outfit denotes one of Kurt's scouting crew. Acrobatic scout. Ah, no problems. And you are? Officer Shaw yourself. Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety, I know what I'm doing, trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't hire me for no reason. Got the medals and gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials. Flick jumps up and returns to scaling the rigging. Can I go up? No. You spot a youthful looking man leaning over the side. You spot a youthful looking man? I'm sorry, this... Is this the youthful looking man? What? His head slumped as he looks into the icy pool below. It appears he's been visited by a spot of seasickness. Are you okay? You speak out and the sickly man doesn't answer. He raises his head and turns to spot you, his eyes widening in shock as he does. A bespectacled young man shaking with unease. Youthful men can have wrinkles. I'm sure it's just the art style. He stares at you for a brief moment, a look of shame. Sorry. Are you alright? Yes. Well, not really. I'm very sorry. The man turns around and hurriedly runs to the opposite direction, avoiding your gaze. Okay. Looks about as young as I feel. You overhear two of the newly arriving scout crew talking. Ah, Quilsey, have any trouble settling in? Not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though. A proper navigator never rests until their work is done. Of course, of course. I take it you had no issue settling in? None at all. The crew are a funny lot. Old Kurt certainly caught their attention. Huh. Do you think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself? I think you'd collapse from joy if they did. Perhaps. Okay, 2 more crew available. Is there anything else going on up here? No. He spots you and ceases his playing. Need something? Your brother sent me to speak with you? Junior? Oh, you're Shaw. Junior mentioned you. I was just speaking to him too. I'm sure he talked your ear off. He wanted us to meet, did he? We've met now. Won't keep you from your work. Don't keep me from my break. Nicely said. You spot a suspicious looking sailor emerge from the pantry, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets. Not what it looks like, Officer Shaw. Pleck, but call me Gnomes. I'm not thieving anything. I hadn't considered that, but now... You think I protest too much then? No worries, I was just setting up a practical joke. And what was this joke? Not going to spoil the surprise. It's not at your expense if that's your concern. Have to get some enjoyment around here, don't you think? They scurry off to the upper decks to return to work. Hey Shocky, grab some tins from the pantry. It's nearly time for dinner. A bag of flour drops on your head, scattering all over your officer's uniform. Gnomes! You wipe the flour off before continuing. You lift a crate of tins from the shelf. What's on the menu this week? I need to send a scout to the crow's nest with Kurt. Oh yeah, of course. How do I do that? It looks like it's this arrow up here, but like Oh wait, I need to zoom out. That's where it is. We'll put up that little pair, that flick, because she looks like she knew what she was doing. Descend to the nest and take a reading with the sextant. All clear from up top. Oh god. Orca Island. The last port you made where you picked up Kurt and the scouting team from.
Hey, 63 more months until this is funny.
Till this is funny. Not long to wait at all. Thank you very much for the resub, Wriggles. I thought that was in the game for a second, and I was like, what? How you doing? The crew have their meal. Shall we toast to the ice? Aye. The days get longer, but dinner is fixed. It will see us through the long days and the darkest nights. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled. You can't help but notice that it's still bright outside. You notice two sailors passing by from the dinner table. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs leaning on the shoulder of another. Ah, good times, good times. Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker. Ah, but I'm fine. My mates can carry me, eh, Cavity? They can also drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time. Are you asleep? Shit. You overhear two engineers chatting.
What's
rather...
gonna work? Teamwork.
Fine enough, I guess. Yeah, it's good. It's like a visual novel style. We are basically the first mate on a ship. Whoa. And we're heading out on an expedition to look for a ship that went missing like 5 years ago or something. Called the Viscount. But it's like, we're unlikely to succeed. So I've got a feeling it's not going to go very well. You overhear an engineer. Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. You ever see Mr. Hammond eat? I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on that boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either. He probably sleeps. Aye, Dick. It's figurative. Right. Oh, look at all the dogs! You can still get Viscounts. They're bloody good. The dogs reward her with rapt attention as she paces between them, bowl in hand. The largest joins her side as you approach. Try some. You nearly burn your mouth on the hot broth. Surprisingly palatable, you feel yourself warming up. You seem to enjoy it. I'm afraid there is only so much. If you want more, it'll be among the dog's leftovers. Penguin, some blubber, fats and proteins, faster way to hydrate them. Was there something you needed? Just inspecting the animals. They belong here more than we do. Unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their paws as they run. They'd overheat otherwise. Who's that? This is Stanberry. You've been on the ice for a long time. A long time, yes. As you bear. I can pet the dog! Oh my god, you ruffle its head, it tries to lick the broth from your fingers. Oh. The puppies! Okay. I wish when you hovered over this it reminded you of what it all meant. The most important mechanic, yeah. I guess I just keep this going just now until we need to, but... This is going to... In fact, we can't because this is basically going to use everything, right? Like, we've got, like, no fuel. The game that should be going around petting all the cats. Another week passes, they enter the thick ice. Leads. Days grow brighter. Give a dog a treat. Right, because like, I thought we had enough fuel to get there and back, but for some reason we're just not using any. We're going through it like so fast. I can do that, and then what we'll do is we'll take a break as well. At the same time.